Hello, my dear aviation lovers. Good to see you again on this new video. My name is Martina Vincenzi and I am the founder of the VIP Flight Attendant Academy Private Jet Coach. On today's video, we are going to discuss about the differences between a private jet and the airplane of an airline in terms of emergency equipment. So first of all, let me start with this big statement that will put you at ease immediately. The emergency equipment are just the same, okay? And very, very often, even the location is the same, in particular when it comes to the flight deck. So the flight deck of a private jet looks exactly the same as the flight deck of an airline when it comes to emergency equipment, obviously. Then for the rest of the emergency equipment, they will be, you can find them throughout the cabin in those places that actually make sense. That is just logic to have them. So for example, fire extinguisher, you will have for sure one or two near the galley, because the galley is the primary area of an airplane where the risk of a fire is higher than anywhere else because of the appliances that you use to actually prepare food. So when it comes to emergency equipment, how do they look like and what am I actually talking about? So fire extinguisher, same as in the airline. So you have, it's a red bottle. You use it exactly in the same way. And as I said, it is located you can have a few of them, throughout the cabin. For sure, you will have one or two near the galley because this is where they are needed the most. They might be slightly smaller in size and therefore lighter because the size of the fire extinguisher depends on how much of an area they are supposed to cover, and the spaces of a private jet are more confined and smaller than the spaces of an airplane of the airline. So that's probably one little difference that you can find between them. Then we have a first aid kit and defibrillator, flashlights and fire gloves. They are exactly the same. We have, of course, a PBE. So the smoke hood, the portable breathing equipment, the PBE or the dragger, it doesn't really matter. It depends which one has been chosen by the company to put on board, but they work exactly the same and they are needed for the same reason. We have the emergency oxygen system, so the drop-in masks from the panels above the seats that will automatically drop out by themselves in case of a lack of cabin pressure. They are everywhere throughout the cabin, so above every seat. They are in the lavatory, they are in the entrance area, in the galley, in the corridors, absolutely everywhere a human can actually spend some time. So, and they work exactly the same. We have seat belts. So the seat belts are actually slightly different between the private jet and the airline. So the seat belts of a private jet, they actually are the same as the one in the car. So they go from the shoulder to the opposite hip, and you just click them on the opposite side of your body. You can even detach this long part that goes across your body and have only the one that is taken from hip to hip, if you prefer. However, they present themselves as the seatbelts of the car. We have life vest, of course, one for each seat, plus a few spare ones, plus the infant life vest, infant seat belts, as always, and yeah, flashlight, I mentioned them already, and that's pretty much it for the type of equipment that are exactly the same. So you have two main differences between a private jet and the airline. So these main differences are about the therapeutic oxygen and the slide raft. So if the jet is smaller in size than an Airbus or a Boeing, they are not we do not carry slide raft, so the arming disarming operation is not applicable in this case. But of course you are carrying around with you some items that can actually help you in case of a landing in water, and these items are the raft. So you do not have a slide raft, you have a raft. How do you operate that? Well, normally you have the raft that is enough to cover all the occupants of the cabin, plus a little bit more. So sometimes you have two, which is the situation that I have seen the most, two rafts, one, let's say, per door. You have two emergency exits normally on board a private jet. One is the primary one, which is the passenger's door, and you have a slide raft somewhere in the proximity, and then you have the overwing emergency window, which is the secondary emergency exit. So how does it work? The raft is all packed, okay, in a yellow cube, kind of. It is quite heavy, it weighs around 40 kilos, and there is a loose rope. So after the landing in water, you have to drag the raft in the proximity of the emergency exit, open the secure the rope to the handle of the door or wherever you can find a place to make a knot with the rope, open the emergency exit, push the raft outside. The raft will inflate by itself, and the evacuation command will be inflate your life vest, jump in the water, and then climb on the raft. The raft looks exactly the same as the airline. So you will have a canopy that you can mount, you will have a ladder that will help you to climb, you will have a sea anchor, you will have the emergency radio beacon so you can be localized by the rescue team, you have a reparation kit, survival kit, emergency food, and also the tablets to remove the salt from the water to transform salty water into drinkable water. And you have a knife to cut eventually the rope that remains, that keeps the raft attached to the airplane in case the airplane is sinking. So as you can see, the concepts are just the same, they might look slightly different. So remember, you have a raft, you do not have a slide raft. For me, for example, this wasn't really something new, because when I started to fly in my aviation career in the airline, I did fly a type of jet that didn't carry the slide raft, but we had only the raft. So this is nothing really new to me, and actually the slide raft became familiar to me a little bit later in my career. So maybe some of you also can be familiar with the raft and not the slide raft only. The second aspect of the emergency equipment that might be slightly different between a private jet and an airline is the way you administer the therapeutic oxygen. So therapeutic oxygen is oxygen that you administer to a casualty in case of a medical emergency, okay, to recover from a medical emergency, or let's say just to help basically the casualty to recover. So what you are probably very familiar is to have the the oxygen portable bottle, okay, that you can carry around with you. You have to connect the oxygen mask to the bottle and just put it on the casualty, and then you are all set. Well, the concept is the same, but on a private jet very often you do not have oxygen bottles, portable oxygen bottles, but the therapeutic oxygen is administered through a fixed system that will present itself in the cabin through two outlets, one in the front of the cabin and one in the back of the cabin. So in this case, to operate it and actually deliver the therapeutic oxygen, you have to inform the flight deck crew, so they will put the system on for you. Then in the proximity of the outlet is stowed the oxygen mask. You can just take one, connect it to the outlet, and just administer the oxygen. So you need somebody else to activate it for you. In this case, obviously the pilots. It is not that you connect and then you have oxygen right away. Okay. Well, I mean, you would do that anyway, right? If you have an emergency, a medical emergency in the cabin, I'm pretty sure you're gonna speak with someone, you're gonna share the information with the rest of your crew. So in fact, it doesn't really change much of your normal operations, okay? The type of oxygen mask is exactly the same, the way you connect it is exactly the same, so everything is made for aviation, and it doesn't really matter if we are talking about commercial aviation or private aviation. The emergency equipment are just the same, we are trained exactly in the same way, and we deal with any emergency or any equipment exactly the same way. So when you come on board a private jet, I recommend you to go through the emergency equipment just to memorize and, you know, get familiar with the location where they are, and also how to get them out from their storage quickly. That's definitely my recommendation for you. I think that's it actually when it comes to emergency equipment. I hope that this was helpful for you. If you have any curiosity or any question regarding the corporate aviation industry, please feel free to reach out to me. And also please do subscribe to my channel, because there are some exciting news that I can't wait to share with you about some projects that Private Jet Coach is about to take for this 2024. So I hope to see you soon, and baci baci!